Hey everyone, we're joined with the rare in person with none other than the man himself, Scott
All the way
Albright.
from across the pond as well, my friend.
Yeah, we're down here in England. Neutral territory for both of us.
Yes.
But Scott, do you want to talk a little bit about, why we're out here, what we got going on today?
Yeah, I mean, well, first let's mention that we had a great few days in Stockholm, Sweden.
Oh,
yeah, that was awesome.
If you haven't been to Stockholm, Sweden, you have to go. It's one of my favorite cities on the planet besides Prague, which I think everyone knows at this point. I love Prague.
Mm-hmm.
But we're in Portsmouth, England, to do a cool event with some content creators and some news agencies and run you all through Tabor in real life and scare the crap out of you. I was going to curse right then, but I stopped myself. To scare the hell out of you, basically, and let you know what it'd be like in a real experience.
I got the goosebumps as he was talking as well, right down the arm.
Yeah, when I first went through it, I was like, that is an in-person experience you guys could sell just for Ghosts of Tabor. It was so well done. And I mean, is there an occasion that you decided to put this together? Or have you been wanting to do an in-person event like this for a while?
I think doing anything in person is awesome at any time, and Beyond Frames, they fully support everything we do, and they have such a vision for us marketing that, again, like I think I say it every time, I couldn't ask for a better partner than Beyond Frames. But with us getting ready for the PlayStation VR 2 launch, we wanted to bring everybody in and let you all just have some fun, because I feel like a lot of you guys have been there since day one, and you've been on this just up and down roller coaster of emotions of development and sleepless nights with us, right? So I feel like everybody here, they needed that cut loose as much as the developers that are out here with us in the media team. It's a weight off our shoulders, and it's just celebrating the next steps.
It makes sense. And how excited are you to see Ghosts of Tabor launch on the PlayStation VR 2?
Man, I tell you what, as somebody that's been playing PlayStation their entire life, like literally my first console was probably my like an Atari or something, but then Nintendo, and then PlayStation 1, right? The Sony PlayStation came out, and to be a little kid, and then, 40 years later, you look back and you're like, holy shit, like we have a game on PlayStation. Like that's for me, because I'm just still such like a normal dude. Like, it's surreal, and it's like one of those things I think I've said in some interviews with you before. People like outside just now is like, oh, you're massive success. I'm like, I don't think about it. Like, I don't want to think about it. I just want to be Scott and just do this kind of shit, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right.
No, I definitely think one of the things that makes you and your team special is everyone's humble.
Yeah.
And could easily take the bragging rights of what you've accomplished. But yeah, anytime I know we've brought it up, you just have the most humble responses to the. But with that being said, the success of Ghosts of Tabor has been like anything else I've seen in the past couple of years. It just continues to go up that chart of. So I think it's huge that people on the PlayStation end are going to get to experience this.
And how long does an event like this actually even take to put together?
I think they've been planning this since like December. Like December up until like last week. I think it's been pretty much planning, and these guys here at the studio have been getting ready for all of this. Like it's been a whole thing. Callum and Maeva and Jim, they've all just been hammering night and day getting this stuff done. And I haven't really felt any of the brunt of that, again, because I have such amazing partners that they take that weight off my shoulders and let me focus on the creative and running the studio every day. But I don't think it could have been done any better. This is super impressive today.
No, I will say I've been around a long time, and I have never experienced anything even remotely close to what I went through.
And we did it in England.
Yeah.
Like
Neutral ground.
We did it in the United Kingdom.
Honestly, the one place I didn't think that something like this could probably get pulled off.
Yeah.
But holy crap.
It's a Tabor way. We just do things that we're not supposed to do. Right.
And I remember you guys did the launch party for Ghosts of Tabor as well. So these type of in-person experiences, as Grim comes out and Silent North, or Ghosts of Tabor moves to additional platforms, are these type of kind of marketing events? Is that your vision for marketing those games?
Yeah, I think so. I love doing in-person events and getting to meet everybody. I mean, it's great to talk to everybody on Discord and in chats, but personally, I would just rather like meet up with you guys and like have a beer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we had plenty of those. So, but yeah, I think in person is something that's lacking in VR. I think launch parties. I think we're the only game to ever do a launch party.
Mm-hmm.
And that was when we went to App Lab. Which,
well, and that was not just a normal launch party either. That was the stage, the red carpet.
Yeah, we had a full red carpet event, black tie. Yeah, it was fantastic. It reminded me of like when Activision started doing them, or Infinity Ward started doing them with COD, and I feel like that's really missing from the VR scene. And I get it, and I know why. It's because there's a lot of indie developers in VR. But until we start taking ourselves seriously and treating ourselves like big studios, and that we can produce a premium product for our fans, then we'll just continue not to do these type of events. But we have to start. Somebody has to start it, so I'll do it.
Well, I think it goes without saying, too, that if anybody wants to follow a playbook on how to do things correctly, it would be the Combat Waffle way.
I think, the Combat Waffle way is pretty simple. I get asked the question a lot, and I'll just riff here for a second, but just make a good game. Like I've said 100 times in our interviews, be a genuine person, and listen to your fan base and make what you want as a gamer. That's the only reason Tabor is here. I wanted a Tarkov extraction shooter in VR. Everyone said it couldn't be done. And when you tell me something can't happen, I'm going to prove you that it can. And that's just something like my dad instilled in me. Like, never take no for an answer for any reason on the damn earth. So that's why all these games exist we're doing. Because they can't be done. No one will ever play them. No one will do this. No one will like it. Okay. Well, that's fine, but at least I'm going to make the attempt.
Oh, and do it in time frames that are almost unimaginable.
It's unhealthy.
I couldn't agree more, to be honest with you. But it always just amazes me at the rate of progression that your studio is able to get over these hurdles that, in some sense, other people wouldn't have even dared release their game. Where you're just like, no, let's get it to the masses. And I mean, look at where it is today. It's absolutely night and day.
I think it's just a passionate team. Everybody loves the title that they're working on. Like when we interview people, just recently, I interviewed like 7 people. So we bumped up. We're at a studio of 40 people now across the 3 projects. And I've got more projects on paper just waiting to do. And it's one of those things like, hey, okay, we have these 3 projects. What interests you the most? Because you're obviously a talented developer or environment artist. What style do you like? And they're like, oh, we like Silent North more. We like Grim or Tabor. Like, oh, we need a developer on Silent North. Okay, come work on Silent North. Not going to force you into a round triangle into a square slot or anything like that. Like if you don't fit that slot, and that's not your art style, then let's put you where you can be used.
Well, and you have a good eye for talent, meaning a lot of your team, when we talk to people on Tabor Radio, they go by their creator names, they're former content creators, or it's not just that they had a loaded resume with, college, it's the colleges they went. No, it's their actual results that they put out. And I think that that's a big part of Ghosts of Tabor being the success it is.
Yeah, you give people a chance. If you can spot people, I've always had a weird thing of finding people that are talented and sort of curating them into their passions and helping people achieve that goal, whether it be just simply motivating them or introducing them to the right people. That's what I did so long in, the other job before this. I think my biggest success story so far is Patty. Like Patty's to me every day, that dude, and Elijah, if I can say just Patty, Elijah, all of them, everybody on the team. Even Jonas coming from non-game dev world to being a CTO of a game dev studio and just being fucking amazing at it. But like Patty goes to college, we hire him out of college as an intern.
Never shot a gun
in his life. And now he is the current lead developer on Ghost of Tabor. 2 years later, right out of the kid's a unicorn.
Yeah, but not all studios even give those opportunities for those people to shine.
No. And you wouldn't make it through. You wouldn't even get the interview.
No, but that's the thing. I get 20 resumes a week of these kind of people, and I can't hire all of them. So if you're looking to hire people, let me know. I have tons of resumes of amazing talent that could actually help your studio that I cannot actually hire, and I'm more than willing to share those details with any developer out there. As long as we can see the developer community grow, I don't care. Just like Gamescom coming up, like whatever we got to do to make it happen, let's do it.
Well, so in events like this, is it half Q the marketing and half of growing the industry? Because you look at events like this, you see everybody mingling, everybody talking. I mean, obviously you're getting good marketing out of it, but it kind of feels like just giving back to the VR community as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, really, man, I joke and I make the comment, like, you can only eat so much bacon and drink so much bourbon, right? That's a saying I'm always going to say. My grandpa said it. My dad said it. Somebody said it. But I don't I don't really care about the money. It's never really been about that. It's been about VR growing. That's all I care about. I just want to see VR growing. Of course, the company needs to make money. I love my paycheck. My developers love their paycheck. But like, we're such a small community. And you see all these guys, all the creators out here, and we get together. It's like, oh man, I haven't seen you in so long. And everyone just like gives each other a hug, and they missed each other. Truly. We don't get that face-to-face time, and events like this give us that opportunity. And again, more of them need to happen, and not just from Combat Waffle. All studios should be doing this kind of thing. Like, we should be blowing your guys' socks off with whatever we do every time we push something out, in my opinion.
Well, it's true, and you say not enough studios do it, and that can't be said enough. I mean, we've seen
none of them do it.
We've seen
for the most part.
Skydance recently fly out some people for like Behemoth, and look at how much hype that gave Behemoth. You know,
it's huge.
You bring these people out, you show them your game, you treat them right, and like, yeah, they're gonna treat your game right too. And look at the trickle effect that's had about Tabor. Everybody knows the name.
Yeah, 1,000%. I think it needs to continue. It needs to be amplified by every studio in our industry. And we just need to do more of it, and we need to give back more to our communities and to the creators, because Tabor would be nothing without the creators that have backed it this entire time. Even on our roughest day, they were still out there being our champions. Mm-hmm. And we've had rough days. Like, I'm the first to admit that, like, where I'm just as mad as the community is. So without the creators pushing us to be better and calling us out on our bullshit, we wouldn't be any better than we were day one.
And call me crazy, but there are flat screen creators here as well, correct?
There are, I believe. Yeah, I know what. Pause. Are there flat screen creators here? I'll ask Callum right now on camera. Callum, hey, you're all live on Rough Talk VR. Are there flat screen creators here? It's all VR content creators, right? And, yeah, it's a hybrid. Okay, yeah, it's a hybrid mix. There's some news agencies here. Yeah, there are some flat screen press here. So it's a pretty big event. The one I know the most is Henry, obviously, because as Jim said, he's probably the biggest guy in VR right now doing VR coverage.
Yeah, we've been hyping up Henry a bunch.
Henry's awesome. He's so great. I remember the first time I got to talk to Henry very briefly just in Twitter, and I was like, oh, if you could please reach out to, I think it was Maeva at the time. I was like, and then it was before Callum was on board at Beyond Frames, and I've read basically all of his articles at this point. Every time he posts something, I tune in for it. Henry's great. Yeah, I can't speak kindly enough about him. And just had a one-on-one with him, and he's just as kind as I thought he would be in person.
Oh yeah, he's a good soul.
The British accent definitely helps as well.
He's proper British accent. He's the Queen's English.
Yeah. We recently had him on Rough Talk VR as well, just because we're fans of his work. You go on Upload VR right now, it's written by Henry Stockdale.
Yeah,
written by Henry
everywhere.
Stockdale. So
the guy's knocking it out. He's knocking it out of the park. He's doing great.
And how long has the development of Ghosts of Tabor on PlayStation VR 2 been going on? Pretty much since you launched on App Lab, or has this been more recent developments?
Yeah, I mean, basically, since last summer or last fall, yeah.
And how big do you think this is going to be on Sony's platform when it launches?
I'm thinking number one. I'm thinking number one.
I'll let Scott answer, but I'm thinking it's games like this that are going to help float their gaming ecosystem, because I've always seen developers scared to take the jump to PlayStation. It almost seems like, for whatever the reason might be, but this is going to open up the floodgates to me for other studios to say, if Ghosts of Tabor is willing to go on PlayStation, and other studios should follow suit.
I'm not gonna speculate. I'll do the typical Scott thing of, if we sell one copy, I'm happy. That's it. If we sell one copy of GOT on PlayStation VR 2, then amazing. But it's probably the most asked question we have. And if that's any indication of what's going to happen on launch day, like, God bless our servers and back end.
Yeah, they're going to melt.
Poor fish.
Mm-hmm. Well,
yeah.
The PSVR 2 community needs this kind of stuff. Games like Ghosts of Tabor. So, I mean, huge props to you for not being like, hey, you know, we read these articles about PlayStation VR 2 maybe not doing the best or anything, then you ignore it. No, you're like, dude, that just means that we need to go on there doubly so.
Yeah, I mean, we have players there. I have people asking me for it in my inbox, posting on our socials. If somebody wants to play our game, I want to give them the opportunity to play our game. There's not a ton of Pico players in the U.S., but we had some Pico players in the U.S. We went to Pico. Like, if you want to play our game and there's a few people that want to play it on there, and we have the bandwidth to do it, like, we'll try to go there.
Yeah, we have the opportunity to talk with Scott and the Tabor team quite a bit through Tabor Radio, you know, so we're
Great, by the way. I love every episode. You all are amazing.
Yeah, well, that's a great opportunity or a great example of, giving creators like us that opportunity. But, we get the opportunity to talk to you guys all the time, so I don't want to be selfish and steal all the other.
It's a huge event. It's a big day. Yep. We don't want to steal every second of Scott's time.
So I guess before we close it up, is there anything else you wanted to say about the event or the current just things going on in VR and wrapping?
Really just anybody that was here, if I didn't get to talk to you personally, I probably will. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you coming out here and supporting us and allowing us to bring you out to such a cool place. And then PlayStation VR 2 launch late summer, early fall. Mic drop.